It says we're live.
It says we are.
Hey guys, we're gonna let you witness. Oh, okay. She stopped. So Friday was just literally. Oh no, Jack's gonna take over.
Oh my God.
She jumped up, grabbed the handle, and literally pulled out the sock drawer.
Yeah.
Got it open enough to work on it. So we're gonna leave it there, and I bet you she works on it while we're doing our podcast today. Hey guys.
And she's been known to completely unload our sock drawer.
Yes. But
y'all,
there she goes.
It's quite warm in here. I have to say, if you see some, oh goodness, baby girl,
she was like, I don't like that light on me.
What do you think, Jen?
Center of attention. Okay.
What do you think?
Hey guys, happy
Sunday.
Happy
Hey, Robin.
Day. Oh, happy
I
day.
love seeing your faces on VIP Zoom. Dana, hey girl, how you doing?
Dana, I miss your face.
Yeah, I miss your face.
I need you to start giving us your face when we do our VIP Zooms. Guys,
y'all,
it is
real warm. Debbie, hello.
It is kind of warm up in her.
I am literally about to drip. And there is some.
Why don't you lean it back down a little bit?
What's that?
The
this
camera. Yeah.
Lean it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
The light picks up a little bit better, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're not getting so much of our closet, more of us.
Hey Terry. Hey Alicia.
I know you want to see our closet.
It's been a long time, girl.
So welcome everyone. We are back in the closet, and we are going to do a podcast today. We skipped last week because
we sure did.
Because Adrienne had a very special surprise from her brother, where he showed up and brought her a gift from a family heirloom, if you will. And so it's 55 here, Debbie said.
I could use some 55 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's really just hot in the closet. It's not actually hot in the house. But you might be having a hot flash. We don't have those little fan things anymore.
I need them, y'all.
But
sorry, I'm so glossy.
Let's just go ahead. We were can't use my words today. We were discussing on how we would like to talk a little bit about vet visits for our kitties. And then we have a few other things that we were talking about that we actually have a pretty big week coming up.
Girl, yes.
So
let's get this party started.
Let's get this party started. Welcome, everyone.
Going down to 34 in Wisconsin. Oh my God.
Man, I can't wait till it starts to get cold and we can wear scarves.
58 in North Carolina.
And hoodies and
I'm so ready for sweater weather.
Yeah.
So ready.
It's so much more fun. It's not as much fun to do the laundry when you have.
It's just a lot more bulk.
Yeah, it's like more laundry that you have to do because they're bigger, right? But it is so much more fun to wear winter clothes than it is summer clothes. I think. At least. IMO.
IMO.
Okay, in my opinion.
Oh, aren't you clever?
Get with the times.
Look at them.
We have the kittens in here now.
Oh my God, they're so precious.
Okay. Are you going to be distracted through the whole thing?
No, I'm totally here.
Okay, great. Here we go. Here, Jack. Welcome to episode number 0043 of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. We are back in the closet. We are back because last week we skipped our podcast. Right? Because we had a very surprise visit from Adrienne's brother. And he showed up the day that we record our podcast. So we canceled everything.
Oh my God.
It's exciting to be back.
It is exciting to be back. It was also an extraordinary experience last Sunday.
Yes.
Completely mind-blowing in every way. And it was wonderful to see my brother. And I know that so many of you guys are probably jealous because I actually got to hug him, even though hugging is kind of off limits these days. I didn't even think about it. When I opened up the door, I just hugged him.
I feel like if you're going to be staying with us and allowed in our house, I don't think a hug is going to do any different from...
That's true. That's true. So I'm not going to feel too bad about it.
Yeah. And I think we're still COVID-free.
Yeah, so far so good. Thank the Lord indeed. And I hope you guys are all staying super healthy and happy on this happy Sunday.
Yes.
So today we're excited to talk about a couple things. Yep. Number one, we've had a big, and I mean huge, and I mean we've never done this before, vet visit coming up on Tuesday.
Yep.
We are going to be taking 5 of our 6 babies to the vet.
At the same time. That's right.
So we want to talk a little bit about that and why that's happening. Yeah. But also the last podcast that we did, we were talking about life in general and how to try to stay sane right now because we have been like kind of at the end of a frayed rope for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we're too I don't think we've
We haven't climbed too far up that rope,
Right.
but we are making baby steps.
Baby step progress.
We have started eating healthier,
Yeah.
more regularly.
Bit by
We
bit.
have started working out more regularly. First week, 4 times a week. Second week,
You see how our clothes keep moving
3
in this
times a week.
closet?
That's Maddie girl.
It's because we have a cat back here.
Where's my
somewhere.
Maddie girl?
No, I see a black tail.
Are you serious? Is that Friday?
It's Friday.
Our crazy babies.
Baby,
But we have started doing some things to try to help keep our sanity and focus on a healthier perspective.
I will tell you guys though, huge blessing, and I don't know yet because I've never done this. But
we're excited
because of
about
our
it.
last podcast, one of our subscribers on to our newsletter actually reached out to us, and she does. You guys know we talk about Pam Roussel with Perfectly Holistic all the time because Pam is awesome, and Pam has done amazing things with our cats. And what she does is she's a kinesiologist, right? So she does energy healing. She does muscle testing, and she's able to help release trapped emotions in our cats. And she focuses on cats, and it's a real thing. It's done, like literally got one of our cats off of steroids. So Pam with Perfectly Holistic, PURRR, feckleyholistic.com. If you guys are listening and you're interested in reaching out, do check her out. But somebody else reached out to us, happens to be a I like to use the word kinesiologist now, just because it sounds like it's
more
easy.
Recognizable than like muscle testing.
It feels like it's more recognizable to most people, and if not, it just sounds like, oh, that's important.
It does sound important,
right?
Yeah.
Instead of woo woo.
Instead
of woo-woo.
testing.
So the energy testing, energy healing, these kind of things. Somebody reached out to us who does this for people, and offered us a session. And I literally, when I was replying to her email, I literally started crying. So I know that this is something that I absolutely need. And I think it's going to be that next step to really fly up that rope that we're hanging on. And I'm super excited. That's going to be tomorrow morning for me.
I think it's going to be
and tomorrow night for you.
Tomorrow night for me.
Yeah.
We both, goodness, there goes our Friday. So we both, I think everyone deals with emotions differently, right?
Yeah.
But Jae is type A OCD. She puts everything in the queue. So something emotional can happen and she will not have
I handle it logically the way that it needs to be.
To it for sometimes years.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't hit her. Like something traumatic happens, and for a lot of us it hits us at that moment, and then it becomes the challenge to respond to that as opposed to react to it.
Correct.
Because a lot of times reactions are a little
we want
difficult.
to respond instead of react.
We want to be thoughtful about whatever response it is, but with you sometimes you'll wait a good 5 to 7 years before you,
I know, and then at that time I don't even know what it is.
Right.
That's
but you have the reaction,
and I know because over the past couple years specifically, my anxiety's been getting worse and worse and worse, and that anxiety, I literally have no idea why. Like I can't trigger it to, like, for instance, the other day, just thinking about brushing my teeth before I brush my teeth, I thought I'm gonna gag myself with my toothbrush, and literally that might have been the thought, but I don't know what it was. I started brushing my teeth and I could not stop gagging, so I had to I'll brush my teeth later. I can't do it. Like it's, and I don't know that not everybody can understand that. Many people can understand that. Many people can't understand the fact that you're like, I get this really bad anxiety and I have no idea why I have this anxiety. Why is UNLV calling you right now? Can you decline that call?
Pardon me. Very sorry
That's
about
weird.
that. Very sorry.
That's
Very
weird.
sorry.
Anyway, so I know that I have trapped emotions because, and I know I can pinpoint some of them because I know that I never really dealt with them because I wasn't sure how to or what to do. And then others, I just don't even know that they ever affected me or that they should affect me or I don't know. So really excited about the session. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what it's going to entail. I don't have an expectation necessarily other than I feel like I'm going to feel a lot better when it's over.
Well, and I hope you don't have a huge expectation, but I have a feeling as well that it's going to be an experience.
Yeah. And I have so many people. And if you guys, like, if you're interested in something like this, you guys know us. We will always give you our honest opinion. We will tell you, and I will absolutely
exactly who to contact.
Recommend anytime we have something that some resource that is going to help us or our cats. We're always
the first to know.
You guys are always the first to know about it. So,
hey, so I do want to say this. So Marissa said that there was a kitty missing. We were talking about Pam and muscle testing, energy testing, that sort of thing. And many of you guys know that one day we were letting Twister out in the backyard, and we turned our backs for literally
we went inside.
Oh yeah, that was the time we went inside. We went inside and we were inside for about 5 minutes. During those 5 minutes, he decided to leave our yard. And of course we freaked out. And we did not mean to leave him outside, by the way. We were coming in and he scooted out.
We were coming in for a half a second because we were grabbing some food. He was just hanging out with us while we were going to grill out.
It was a cat mom mistake.
Yeah.
But Marissa commented and said they have a kitty that's missing in around her neighborhood. And they're going to be contacting Pam. They've been looking for this kitty for a long time. I hope, and she told them that they should reach out to Pam, because that night we reached out to Pam and she asked for our address. And then she energy tested the yards around us and told us where he was from Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
And we're in Las Vegas.
She said he is testing. I'm seeing his energy in the yard behind you. We were at that time in the yard across the street in front of us, and she was like, "I'm seeing his energy in the yard behind you."
When it started ringing, it shut off the video.
Oh no!
Yeah.
And so, hi Jack. So we found him.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
It's amazing.
She also said, "Jay, do you know the spoon fork theory? If not, check it out, because you could." You can make so much sense of it.
I'll have to look into that. I've never heard of it. I haven't heard of the spoon fork theory.
Yeah. So this is going to be very exciting. But I do like that we have started being a little more accountable to our better selves by eating better, working out. And I think it's making incremental differences.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. But
tomorrow's going to be exciting, and I can't wait to fill you guys in on that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it's coming before
the vet visit on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
And a lot of things. But on Tuesday, guys, so this is October right now, if you're listening.
Can you believe that?
It's currently October 2020. And it is National Pet Wellness Month. And I think, I don't feel like we stress it enough. I know we talk about it. And so we feel like we stress things, like overstress things. But it is so important that we take our cats to the vet for their at least annual, if not in their older ages, biannual vet visits and a checkup. And if they're in their older years, especially a blood test, because there's so much that we could find out that we can catch in advance. Yeah. And the reason we say bi-weekly or bi-monthly, once your cat hits, say, the age of 10, when they start to get to their older years, is because things change really fast with our cats when they're older. Like, they can go from
cats age faster than we do.
Right.
Just in general. It's
several years to one of our years. Right. So
and it kind of is on an increasing scale as they get older. So that's why it's so important. And we are actually full cat mom confession here. So we had Twister's our only technically senior kitty right now at 16, 17 years old. We're not exactly sure. And he had his senior blood panel done beginning of March, right before everything closed down. So we're actually a little overdue for him. But we also realized that our Friday and Zorro are 2 years old, and they are
2.5.
2.5. And they have not been to the vet at all in the past year.
No. So I took them in for their 1 year checkup.
Right.
I did take them for their 1 year checkup, but it was just a checkup. We didn't get a blood test. But they were super healthy, and it was like, okay, I think 1 year is going to be fine. But now we're at their second year, and because of COVID, it's like, you can't necessarily plan it to the day. I get that. It's, somewhere around the time. Just don't let it get past you. We want to get them in, and we want to get them for a blood test. So we're getting 5 blood tests. This is going to be a really expensive.
That's going to be super expensive.
But we're getting 5 blood tests. So our 2 youngest, Jack and Madison, who are 6 months old now, are getting their first blood test. So we want to know where their health is before we do this spay and neuter and vaccines.
And when we brought them in the first time 2 weeks ago, not the first time, but when we brought them in.
That was that was the second time.
Right, that was the second time. They actually had, both of them had inflamed gums.
Mm-hmm.
So they did not get their first vaccine because the vet, rightly so, did not want to give them a vaccine if there was any kind of potential sickness. And she said, we need to find out what's going on here. So
we're going back for blood test on Tuesday for Jack and Madison, and then Friday and Zorro, who are both 2.5 years old. They will also be getting a basic blood panel to make sure that everything's okay there. And then we're bringing our big Pooh Bear, who honestly has not been to the vet in 3 years. Two years. And he didn't get a blood test then when he went because he's such a high anxiety.
Very difficult cat.
Yeah.
He's the kind of cat that they burrito in a towel and then open up the door and then just throw us the cat.
Yeah.
It has been a traumatic it's been a traumatic experience anytime we try to take him somewhere, which is why this is such an important topic, because I feel like so many of us are in that boat where it's a catch-22 of, do we take them in if they seem to be doing okay? And Pooh Bear is a difficult case because we know he has an autoimmune disease. Here lately, he's been having a few more flare-ups than we would like to see. And we're doing what we can to help him holistically, but we definitely need to have him seen. And there are some things that we've noticed that, do you have a bogey? You okay?
No, I shaved my nose hairs today, and I feel like...
do you know you should always breathe out when you're shaving your nose hairs? I was very concerned because I didn't see you.
I was basically not breathing, I think.
So that everything that you're trimming.
I feel like there's hairs up, like my nose hairs are kind of just like flaking around inside my nose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was a little concerned.
I blew my nose afterwards, but then we had to jump into stuff, so yeah. Okay, continue. Side note. Trim your nose hairs carefully.
Hey, Trisha. Oh, we missed you on the Zoom today. Beautiful. Okay, so with Pooh Bear, though, it's that catch-22. He is we know he has compromised health, but we also know that it takes a huge toll on him because his autoimmune disease really gets triggered by stress. It takes a big toll on him to bring him into the vet. At the same time, we know that he really needs to be to the vet at least once a year. And probably with his condition, it would be good to have him tested twice a year. So this is going to be his first time
going. But our excuse has always been that
2 years.
Anytime
and it is an excuse.
It is an excuse. Our excuse has always been that anytime he's uber stressed, his autoimmune disease flares up. And taking him to the vet makes him uber stressed. So we're, but here's the cool thing. Is that we found a great vet who's a holistic vet, and we know that he's going to be in the best care in this
and we're
veterinary
taking
hospital.
2 cars. So Jay is going to be taking the 4 younger ones in 1 car. I'll be taking my sweet Pooh Bear, just he and I, in the car behind them.
With, mind you, a new carrier
that has a cover and it's comfy and tight.
It has a waterproof, which we don't need because we haven't had rain in 168 days.
That's true. We do some rain.
But it has a waterproof. What do they call it? Fear-free cover. So that you cover the whole thing, so that they're not seeing all these scary things outside. And we're excited about that because that's going to really help with the stress level for him.
I hope so. Yeah, it's going well.
But this just goes to show, like we try to take our cats out in the car on a regular basis so they get used to it. We keep our carriers out in the open to where they're, like Pooh Bear was sleeping in the new carrier today, so that they are very comfortable with the carrier and with the car, because these are very important steps that we have to take in order for our cats to be able to go to the vet. Because before we learned better, right? We never took we only went to the vet if there was an emergency, something that was really wrong. And we've been in the holistic pet industry for 15 years, and but we still could have avoided a lot of the issues that our cats ended up dealing with if we would have. We thought, well, just because we're giving them a good diet and we're giving them supplementation, so they don't need a vet visit. But they do.
They do. So here's what where we're at now, and especially, and it's a commitment that we're making to Pooh Bear, especially after his animal communication session, where he said he wants to feel better and live a long life. And that's a whole different topic, but definitely
It's a whole
impactful.
different podcast that we already talked about.
Yeah. So with Pooh Bear, who we know that he has health issues, we are committing to bringing him in once every 6 months, and we want to put ourselves on a schedule. And that's also for our older kitties. So for like Oliver Twist, who we're a month late now.
He's been every
Yeah.
6 months for the past like 3 years.
And he's got great. I mean, but we can't allow great blood panels to make us complacent. So we're late on bringing him in. We're obviously staying on top of the littles. Hey there, baby girl.
Oh, April, May, June, July, August. Oh yeah, we're like 2 months late.
2 months late.
Almost. Yeah.
So, but it's really important, I think, for us to, in being proactive, to really put it on a schedule, to prioritize it. So we know that we're getting 5 of our 6 cats, and we'll make an appointment for Twist with Dr. Steelman.
Yeah.
This week. Or I still don't like the drop off. We'll talk about that. But in October of 2020, that means we count up 6 months, and I'm going to make a reminder in my calendar.
In your phone, in your calendar, on your to-do list, whatever it is that you use.
And make it a month in advance. Like put a reminder in there that it's a month in advance. So because a lot of times it will require taking time off of work.
And you got to make sure that you take that chunk out of your paycheck maybe. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're like, oh, I need, or even if you're not, you're like, oh, that's going to be another, at $85 for a basic plan or something, $100, $300 for the senior blood panel. Normally, for our older cats, it's not cheap, but that's something that we have to understand as cat parents is that if we want to really do the best by our cats, we can only do the best that we can. I get that, but if we plan these things in advance, then, and this is what Adrienne's saying, if we plan these things in advance, then we can plan it. I'm going to take, for 6 months, I didn't do the math prior, but for 6 months, I'm going to take an extra, $50 out of every paycheck and put it aside. And that $50 out of every paycheck is going to add up over 6 months to...
It's going to help offset the cost.
It's going to,
our dear Lindsay, who is here.
$300.
And her kitty is going through some urinary tract issues with crystals, and it's a scary time. She actually has pet insurance. We do not, but we are thinking about it, especially because
pet insurance doesn't usually take care of preventative care, right?
Right. Well, there's some that do. Yeah, there's a lot. There's so much. It's not that there's a regular insurance out there anymore anyway, but there are different plans that you pay a different amount that will help with preventative care. So that's something that we're definitely thinking of, especially for our younger ones, just to get started.
Because up until now, what we've kept is a pickle jar, and we put all of our extra bucks or extra change, or anytime we have cash, we put it in there. Well, over COVID, over the past 7 months or however long we've been quarantined, we haven't had any cash.
No.
Because we're not going anywhere. Everything is paid for on a credit card, and we're ordering our groceries and our alcohol and everything to be delivered. So we don't have all that saved up in a pickle jar now.
That's what's really important, though. I think that just putting it in our heads, and for me, it literally requires a moment to put in my head, this is going to be something that's non-negotiable. For our cats that are 10 and under, they are going in for an annual dental, and they are going in for annual blood tests. If that's 1 visit or 2, it's probably going to be 2 visits. Just go ahead and put that in your head that that's what it's going to be. When we have multiple cats, that could mean multiple days that are going to be disrupted by a vet visit. And I think that the whole putting it in our phone or putting it on our calendar and giving ourselves a month ahead reminder to make the appointment a month from then, the week ahead reminder to make sure that we've got, we're starting all the babies on Cat Calm again to make sure that everyone just has the edge taken off tomorrow on Tuesday. Doing the things that we can do to maybe if we've forgotten to take them out for little rides, whatever, but putting those reminders in. And for our cats that are 10 and older, that's going to be twice a year. We're going to want to get their blood panels run. And it can be very costly. And the dental work too.
And then let me just be very honest with you as to why this is so important to us right now. My parents just unfortunately lost their sweet, sweet baby of 12 years old. Their cat Bandit, who we called our brother,
That's
because
amazing.
my parents growing up, they never let me have a cat inside. They never let us have a pet inside. But then when they moved here to Las Vegas, they adopted this sweet kitten 12 years ago.
Little
And
snowshoe Siamese, is that what he was?
yeah, I think so.
Oh my
So
God.
just like the
The
most
sweetest
adorable
boy.
and the sweetest cat. And he's been their child. What they have taken care of, like literally,
They're closer to
they
this
have
cat
no more kids. I mean, they have their kids, but their
than
kids are
anyone
all like,
outside of their daughters.
yeah, they have no one outside. Yeah, they have no one outside of us. But they also like that, like it's like Bandit was their life. That was the one thing that, you know how sometimes when like you get the empty nest syndrome, I guess you'd say, like your kids are gone, we're excited for a while, and then it's like, what do we do?
Baby.
We don't have anybody to take care of. I think Bandit kind of filled that gap. I mean, it had been much longer that we'd all been out of the house, but I think Bandit kind of filled the gap that they didn't know they had. And he was a great cat. I mean, they fed him good foods. They gave him supplementation, but you know what they did not do? Take him to the vet. They didn't get his blood work, and he was 12 years old. He hadn't been to the vet in 8 years. And he really started to decline. So then they rush him to the vet. And unfortunately at that point, just like Pooh Bear, when they haven't been to the vet and the vet doesn't really even know who they are usually at that point, right? Many
They have
years.
no history with the vet.
And they are a problematic cat, right? They are like an angry cat. They are like a super scared cat, which an angry cat is a scared cat, as we talked about with Dr. Mark Sikorsky today. They're a super scared cat because they've never been in this position, or they don't feel like they've ever been in this position before, and they don't know how to handle it. So if we don't do it on a regular basis, your cat might end up being that cat that they just throw back to you, or they're like, I can't get A, B, or C.
We can't do this
because they're too combative with us, right? So
Bandit
they got a blood
reminder.
test, and then he was, very quickly finds out what the blood test showed was that he had diabetes, but it was so far along, if it is so far advanced that he didn't really have a chance, and they had to say goodbye to him. And that's
the mistake that we have made so many times, where it's like, oh my God, it's been 6 years since we've been to the vet.
Yep.
Right? And I think that's a mistake that a lot of us
we used to count that as like that's awesome.
Yeah, no problems.
Because we think our cats aren't sick, but we don't know what's going on inside them. They're stoic beings. They hide their pain. By nature, they mask their pain. They don't tell us, they can't tell us that, hey, my kidney's hurting. Hey, I feel like something's going wrong in my body. I'm
constantly thirsty.
They're not telling us these things. They can't tell us these things. And so it's our responsibility as cat parents to live from our mistakes, to learn from our mistakes, and to take a more proactive measure when it comes to our cats, because we want them to live the longest. Like, we want them to live forever, right?
I got to tell you, like this, and I'm literally trying to emotionally prepare myself for Tuesday, because this is the hardest part of being a proactive pet parent for me, because it's so traumatic, especially for Pooh Bear. And I think Pooh Bear really kind of exemplifies a lot of cats that are just, you know what, he's doing all right. It's way better than trying to take him to the vet. And I know for a fact that we're going to learn things from this vet visit that are going to be really helpful for his well-being. I also feel like this is the hardest part for me to really make a commitment to do this, because I think that a lot of us, I know I do this. It's like we do the very best that we can holistically to do everything we can to make sure our cats are happy and healthy, that they have environmental enrichment, that they have mental stimulation, and we're like, everyone's doing fine. And cats are always doing fine unless there's something really wrong. Rarely do we notice if anything's wrong. It's a reminder, though, that all of those awesome things.
Just to interrupt for a second, because I like to do that sometimes. It's when we see the symptoms, it normally is really wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
By the time we see those symptoms,
we see that there's something wrong.
Yeah.
There's probably something that's already very advanced.
Right.
were we to be more proactive? And that's just it. That all of these wonderful things, and I think there's so many wonderful things. The interviews with Dr. Marcy Koski and Dr. Margaret Roman and Pam Roussel and Dr. Lori Kozer, all these incredible modalities that are available, integrative wellness things that we can be doing proactively at home. That's awesome. None of those actually replace a blood panel. None of those replace a dental. None of those replace a vet visit.
No, and here's the cool thing is that oftentimes when we catch something like with Scotch, we were so blessed to be able to catch this early enough, or even Biddles, right?
Yeah.
And Biddles we caught a little later, but with Scotch, we found out that he had elevated kidney levels, basically meaning stage 1. If they call it, they usually just call it elevated kidney levels,
Biddles
but
stage 2?
it's basically stage 1. I'm talking about Scotch,
Oh.
Stage 1 kidney disease, right? Well, kidney disease is like the probably number one reason that cats die. I read online the other day, there's one website that says every cat is going to die of kidney disease unless they have some other horrible
Or
disease
one of them
that
was
comes
like
up.
3 out of 4 cats.
Yeah, like
Well,
it's
the mortality rate of kidney disease is done.
yeah,
I mean,
because you can't replace the damage necessarily. It's
repair the damage.
Repair the damage. It just slowly declines. That's what chronic kidney disease is. And however, when we were able to catch Scotch's kidney disease, we were able to do stuff at home, right? Like we gave him milk thistle and dandelion root, like things that really help to flush. We were able to switch his diet to a low phosphorus raw food diet instead of the wet food that we were feeding him. We were able to do like different things that actually basically stopped the progression of kidney disease in his tracks, because then we were going every 6 months and his results were always coming back the same. Okay, good. No, nothing worse, but nothing better, but it's staying still. So that's cool. And he lived, and he was age 18 when we found that out. And he lived till he was almost 22, right. Like a month away from being 22 years old. And
his kidney levels.
He didn't die of kidney disease.
No.
Which I'm really happy.
This is a great question, Marissa, and I think this is a big fear that I've had too. She said, my biggest fear of a vet, basically of a vet visit, is them saying, I think your cat would be happier put down. Yes, you don't have to put them down, but you have the dilemma of what's the best option, and that terrifies me. I think one of the most beautiful things that I love about this community, and I'll speak specifically to our VIP group and the incredible OGs that we have in there, and the veterans, if you will, that have been taking care of kittens, senior cats, cats with disabilities for 40 some years. I think that there's great power in having resources to help you with a second opinion.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean by that. Is it better? Would your cat be happier? Is it better off for your cat? Even with Pooh Bear, this is a, when they saw him, they said, we've never seen a kitty that has lived past 3 years old with his condition. He's almost 10 now. He's doing very well. He's off of steroids right now. I know that he
appears to be very well.
Right. It'll be very helpful to have those blood panels. But I think the bigger fear is going to the vet and them saying, you should be doing this, this, and this. And maybe there's something that's a hesitation within you. I feel like there's great resources available in this community to help ask those questions, even if you're not comfortable asking your vet at that time. And this is a great reminder to really foster a communicative relationship with your veterinarian.
Yes.
To find that way to communicate, even if you guys don't agree on everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very important relationship to foster.
Yeah.
But there's also other resources out there that you can reach out to and say, here's what the vet said. Here's what I think. What do you guys think my options are?
And I get the mindset, because here was my thing. And the reason that we never took our cats to the vet unless it was an emergency is because I was very, I'm very, what's the word?
I'm waiting for you to find the words for this one.
I don't know. Help me.
You were very anti-vet.
Okay. Yeah.
You were very anti-conventional.
No. No, that's not the word I was looking for, but I'm very steadfast in how I'm going to treat my cat. Like since I got into this industry and since I learned so much about the medical industry, big pharma, big pet food, how veterinarians are taught nutrition, things like that. every time we went to the vet, it was like an issue. And then they would say, oh, you need to put your cat down, or, oh, you've got, or this is this, or this is that. And I was always like, fuck you. No, that's not happening.
That's
I'm
not
going
the best
do
way
it.
to communicate.
That's not, I mean, I didn't say it to them. I never said fuck you to a vet.
No, but I think you felt
with
defensive.
my face, I did.
You felt defensive as a pet parent. And
yeah, I was very defensive about how I was going, like your advice versus my advice. Now there were times that the veterinarians were like, you know what, this is the issue, and they really need an antibiotic, or they really need A, B, or C. And I would be like, okay, awesome. I'm gonna take you up on that, and then I'm gonna research it a little bit and see if I move forward with that on what needs to be done. But I'm maybe not overconfident, but I'm pretty confident in like how I'm going to treat my cats.
But it also
right?
makes a big difference with how much you know your cat already, right? Like
100%. It's because we know our cats. I didn't know back when we went to all those vets. I didn't know half of what I know now.
Have we ever even looked in our cat's mouth?
I just knew my cat, right? And so I didn't always take their advice, because we all do, right? We know our cats the best. We are our cat's best advocate. We are our cat's best advocate. So we have to remember that when it comes to, and this does not mean follow my route of like going through 11 vets and just like you're out because you gave me bad advice, or you're out because you offered a prescription diet. You're out because you're stupid. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Now we have partnered we basically have 3 vets. 2 are conventional. 2 are conventional. 1 is holistic. Of the conventional vets, 1 is somewhat
integrative.
Integrative. She knows where we stand, and she likes what
she's also knowledgeable of natural treatments.
Correct. Yeah. So
she does her own research as well.
Right. So we love her probably the most. But I'll say and then the other vet is basically our spay and neuter vet, because he did a fantastic job with Friday and Zorro.
Total conventional vet.
Total conventional.
Totally told us that we shouldn't be feeding raw food and
but
all that.
He is a great surgeon.
Was respectful to us.
And the other 2 vets, when it comes to spay and neuter, is a chop shop. They do it all in one day, and there's a lot of cats there, and they're like chopping, and we want personal one-on-one with our cats when they're going through any kind of surgery, right? But spay and neuter for sure. Anyway, all 3 of them, I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with everything that they say or everything that they
and that's okay.
But it's okay.
And we have a relationship that's based on mutual respect.
Because we need them. We need them, and we love them.
Genuine communication.
Yes.
And I think that that's so important, especially when when we make the commitment to have a veterinarian that's going to be a part of our lives. And if you've got one that you love and that's amazing, that's fantastic. We have 3 for various reasons. Yeah. And it is working out very well for us, but it's so important. We've changed our whole mindset of, when you recognize the importance of something, it changes how you react to it in a way. Yeah. When we were going to the vet because we were dumb and only went in when something was wrong, it was easy to have. Well, we were not informed. Correct. We were not being proactive. There you go. And it was easy to be reactive or defensive, or to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to be coming back here anyways. That's not good for interpersonal communications, and it's certainly not good for our cats. Yeah. So now when you approach it in a way where we are looking at fostering healthy relationships with professional people who are veterinarians that are an integral part of our cat's health and happiness and well-being, it changes a lot. So it's very exciting to have as many resources as we need and or want, but it still boils down to making that commitment, which is, to me, still one of the hardest. I will fill you guys in next week on how this goes with Pooh Bear, because, and I know, like Dr. Marcy Koski says, our cats, and Pam Roussel, everyone, our cats feed off of our stress. And I'm literally emotionally preparing for Tuesday. I'm taking work off to do this.
I thought you were going to say I'm taking Xanax.
No, I want this to be a positive experience for Pooh Bear. I'm very excited that this is going to be his first time seeing this holistic vet. I'm very excited for the potential treatments that may come out of this. It will help him be more comfortable. Yeah. But it's a hard hurdle for me, because every situation that we've ever had, and I've done a lot of those alone with Pooh Bear because he's been such a tough cat. has been super traumatic.
Pooh Bear is basically like her cat. I mean, he's not.
He's
our
ours.
cat, but he is like he's bonded with you, and you are bonded with him. And so when it comes to Pooh Bear, it's like, okay, this is your job,
right?
Unless it's feeding them, right? Then that's,
Jake and Hope with that.
I do that.
So we'll keep you guys posted, but I do think it's so important to make that mental commitment for our cats that are 10 and under. A yearly blood panel, yearly wellness exam, yearly dentals. For our cats 10 and older, let's get that blood panel done, senior blood panel done twice a year. Do what we need to do, get those dental checkups and those wellness exams.
Yeah, because your cat may be acting like they have zero wrong with them,
like
and
Bandit.
Their organs could be failing. And I don't mean to be that. I don't mean to say that as like a scare tactic, but it's true. And when we really want to, if you're somebody who wants your cat to live the longest, healthiest, happiest life possible, then making sure we set up those yearly exams, we set up those yearly blood panels it's so important. And you know what? Sometimes we do everything that we can and we still can't fix our cats, and that has happened to us too. And we get that. But what we can do is
there's a lot more.
Yeah, but for those of us that have lost cats, and especially when it's, suddenly, like we had no idea that something was wrong, and then they just go, decline overnight. It is it's a thing that we blame ourselves for because we didn't do something that we should have done. Now, we always blame ourselves anyway, right? Like,
but it makes
we're
a
always
painful situation that much more difficult to heal from. Well, Mr. Biddles was a good example of just like he had been in for his senior. Yeah, he was fine, and then just boom. But I do have to say, as difficult as it's going to be to bring Pooh Bear in, and I'm not going to try to put too much energy into feeling that it's difficult. This is going to be a great experience.
Yes.
Obviously, it needs some emotional preparation on my part.
Luckily, you have your appointment on Monday night.
Yes.
So hopefully those trapped emotions will be cleared
in time for the vet visit.
Is going to be, because energy is such a big thing, guy. I cannot tell you. We'll have a whole other podcast on that.
To finish my thought, as I like to interrupt from time to time too. I think whenever I think about if this is going to be difficult, and for many of you that are thinking like, whoa, it's just going to be too much to try to bring in all the cats or this specific cat, I do think, like Jay was saying, we can do everything right, quote unquote, and have these things that happen. And that's just part of life, and we can deal with them. But we have that peace of mind knowing that we did everything that we could, that we were being proactive. I think some of the mistakes that we've made in the past, having to deal with that guilt of knowing that we could have caught something, of, when we found a tooth in the bed and we had no idea whose tooth it even was, that it literally rotted out. That's guilt. Doing everything that we can might be difficult now, trying to be proactive, but at least we'll have that peace of mind knowing that it's difficult now, but it's not nearly as difficult as it would be if we didn't make the effort to do everything that we could.
Agreed.
So I have to say about that.
So that's going to wrap up podcast number 0043 of Back in the Closet. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
I'm sorry we missed so many comments on YouTube.
I know, it's hard to see.
We're going to go back and read it afterwards, but we're past the limit of what podcast should be. So
we got to go.
So we got to go, and we are going to be live on Facebook again tonight, per usual, on a Sunday evening.
You're in about 35 minutes, y'all, for a little cat tip review.
Yeah, so please do subscribe to our podcast. Give us some 5 stars if you think we deserve 5. If not, if you can't stand our ums, buts, and so's, you know what? Give us 4. That's fine.
That's fine.
But we do love you guys. But so, and we love you guys.
We love you guys so much.
We hope you guys have a beautiful day.
Thanks for hanging out, you guys. We'll see y'all soon.
Love you guys.
Bye, guys.